Okay, so let's continue where we left off in the previous one. So from the previous lesson, I've placed this chair into this family now. And as I said, when we look at the family template, it provides us with one parameter, and this is the length. Now I want to create an array of this chair. So the first thing I want to do is just make sure that there's enough space to actually do that. So I'm going to increase this length parameter here. Now there's two ways to do that. I can either just grab it and move it, or if you need more control, you can go up here to the family types button, and you'll see there's the length parameter, and there I can type in a distance and apply, and you'll see it is updated. Now to create the array, I'm going to select the chair, and up here you'll see we have the array option available. So selecting that, there's an extremely important option that you have to tick here, and that is which one are we going to copy. So basically it's asking, if I now create the second chair in this array, you can see there's a number, so I'm only going to make 2 for this one. When I'm creating the next one, am I specifying the last point or the second one? If it's the second one, let me show that, let's make it 3. If I specify the second one, it means it's going to create another one, because I set it to 3, using the same distance that I had there. However, if I create the last one, which is the one that we want in this case, doing 3 of them again, it will create the amount of chairs that I specify here between those 2 chairs. So I'm basically telling it the last one in the array sits here, and I need you to create 3 of them between those 2, or those 2 points. Now I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm happy that that one sits exactly on the line there. And I need to make sure that when I move this one later, this array will actually update with it or move with it. So to do that, I'm going to take a dimension, I'm going to click the end of this line, and I'm going to snap it to the center point of this chair here and lock it. This means that as I drag this line out or change the parameters up here, it will actually drag that chair with it. You can see the array updating by increasing the distance. So at the moment it's not adding more chairs in there, it's just increasing the distance. So we're going to use an equation to actually get it to automatically update the number of chairs in the array based on the amount of space available. So I'm going to go up here to the family types. I'm going to add a parameter called number of chairs, like that. And I'm going to make it an instance. It's going to be an integer, and I'm going to group it under other. So okay, you can see now it's grouped under other, and that's the number of chairs. Now to work out exactly how many chairs will fit in that space, I'm going to need additional information. What I need to know is, what is the overall size of this chair? In this case, 925. So to be safe, I'm going to add about 10 mils on each side, so a total of 20 millimeters. So I'm going to use 945. Let's make it 950 to be safe. So I'm saying each chair will need at least a spacing of 950 millimeters. Back to the parameters, I'm going to add a new one, and this one is going to be called minimum width. Again, this is an instance. It is going to be a length, and I'm going to group this also under other. Okay, and we're going to specify 950 millimeters there. Now to work out the number of chairs in my array, I'm going to take the length, which is this one here, and divide that by the minimum width value. Now take care that you spell it correctly, and also remember that this is case sensitive. So you have to make sure that you use the same lowercase and uppercase letters as the actual name, and apply. And you can see here, because it was an integer and not a number. It automatically rounds, and it tells me that I can use 4 chairs in that array. What I need to do now is actually link this array setting to that label. So to do that, you select it and you hover here. Now sometimes this is not visible. So what you can do is you can select the last one in the array and just click here on Activate Dimensions, which will then show this dimension. So I can select it, and if I go here onto Label, you will see it now gives me that number of chairs, which is this one that I created there. So if I link those two, you will see it now updates to give me 4 chairs in this array. And as I increase this, it should automatically update and increase the amount of chairs, keeping a little bit of distance between them. So let's look at that in the parameters. If I, for example, increase this to 6,000 and apply, see, not really much happened there. Let's make it 7.5 and apply, and automatically that updates to 8. Now, one thing I want to show you, what sometimes happens is if your units are not consistent, it will give you errors. So I'm going to delete this minimum width value and create it again, but this time I'm going to make it a length value. So minimum width, instance, keep it a length, not a number. And let's group that also in the other. Okay, make it 950. Let's do that again. Length divided by minimum width and apply. And that is our array. So you can see now if I were to grab this point and move it, the array will update and it will look at how much space is available, and in that space how many of these chairs can it actually add. So this line-based family will now be loaded into another family. So we're nesting it again into another family, and in that one we're going to link some of these controls to other points so that when we increase the size in the other family, this line will update with it, and obviously with it then we'll have the chairs updating on the side of the table.